You walk through the front door. Your purse is still on your shoulder, your shoes are pinching, and the weight of the entire day is pressing down on you. But before you drop a single thing, your eyes have already done what they always do. They've scanned his face. He's quiet. His jaw is tense. His gaze is somewhere far away. And just like that, even before you've kicked off your heels, a part of you has already started working. What happened? Was it something I did? Is he mad at me? You shift your tone of voice. You choose your words more carefully. You hold back that comment you were about to make. You start tiptoeing emotionally inside your own home. And the most striking part? You don't even realize you're doing it. It's so automatic, so deeply ingrained, that it feels like it's just part of who you are. But it isn't, my darling. That weight you just felt, before you could even rest, before you could even catch your breath, it isn't yours. His mood is not your responsibility, but nobody ever told you that. If you know this feeling, this urgency to fix something you didn't even break, stay with me. Because today, we're going to talk about everything you've been carrying, thinking it belonged to you. Hello, my darling. This is Diane, and welcome to your moment. I wanted to start this video with that scene because I used to be that woman. For years, I would walk into any room, and the first thing I'd do was read the vibe, read the faces. I'd try to guess exactly what everyone around me was feeling, and somehow I'd make myself responsible for it. If someone was sad, I felt I had to cheer them up. If someone was quiet, I had to dig until I found out what was wrong. If someone was frustrated, I assumed it was somehow my fault. I lived my life that way, and I thought it was normal. I thought it meant I was being a good wife, a good daughter, a good mother. I thought it was just being sensitive, but it wasn't sensitivity. It was a burden, a weight that didn't belong to me. And I know you recognized yourself in that scene at the front door, because if you clicked on this video, you are likely that woman too. The one who carries everyone else's moods, everyone else's problems, and everyone else's choices as if they were her own. You've been doing it for so long that you don't even know how to separate what's yours from what isn't anymore. That's why I prepared this video with so much care. I want us to do 3 things together today. First, I'm going to show you how you became the person who absorbs everything because you weren't born this way. You were taught to be this way. Second, we are going to identify the 4 specific things you carry thinking they belong to you, but they never did. I'm going to name each one, and when you hear them, you're going to see yourself in at least 2 of them. And third, I'm going to teach you a simple exercise I call the symbolic return, a way to mentally hand back what belongs to others, without the guilt, without abandoning anyone, just stopping the cycle of destroying yourself for things that aren't yours to fix. Stay with me until the end, okay? Because the fact that you're here tells me something very important about you. A part of you already knows it's time to let go of what isn't yours. I want to describe a woman to you, and I want you to tell me if she sounds familiar. She's the first person everyone calls when there's a problem. Her mother calls. Her kids call. Her best friend calls. Her sister sends a text. Her husband vents to her. And she listens. She always listens. She comforts. She advises. She fixes. Sometimes they don't even have to ask. She already senses it, anticipates it, and takes it on herself. In her family, she's known as the strong one, the one who handles it all, the one who makes everything work for everyone else. But no one ever asks who handles things for her. Her day. This woman's day begins before anyone else is awake and ends long after everyone else is asleep. In between, she works, she organizes, she manages, and she cares for everyone. And tucked between one task and the next, she carries her father's problems, her mother's anxieties, her son's frustrations, and her husband's silence in the back of her mind. She has her own problems, her own insecurities, her own heartaches that have never been given room to breathe. But she doesn't look at them. There isn't enough time. There isn't enough energy. Because every ounce of what she has goes to everyone else. And when someone asks how she's doing, she says, "I'm tired, but I'm fine." It's always fine. She's always managing. She's always holding it together. The price of yes. She says yes when she wants to say no. On the phone with her mother, to a coworker's request, to her husband's demand that he could easily handle himself. She says yes because she was taught that saying no is selfish, that refusing is the same as abandoning, that setting a boundary is a lack of love. So she keeps saying yes, again and again. And every yes to someone else is a no to herself. But that no is silent. No one notices it, not even her. What she has normalized. And here is the hardest part to hear, my darling. She has normalized this. She has normalized living in a state of exhaustion. She has normalized having no space for herself. She has normalized the feeling that her own emotions are less urgent than the emotions of everyone around her. She thinks this is just how life works, that this is what love looks like, that this is her role, but it isn't. There is a massive difference between being a generous person and being a person who erases herself, between caring for others and forgetting yourself. And when you spend years, decades, ignoring your own life because you're too busy fixing everyone else's, there comes a moment where you no longer recognize yourself. You don't know what you feel anymore, what you want, what you need. You only know what everyone else needs. And if you recognized yourself in this woman, pay close attention to what's coming next. Because I am going to name, one by one, the 4 things you've been carrying thinking they were yours, but they never were. I'm going to call these things backpacks, because that is exactly what they are. Weights you've strapped to your back, things you carry every single day, but they never had your name on them. Backpack 1. The consequences of choices. Others. Made someone in your life made a choice. Maybe it was your husband, maybe your son or daughter, maybe your mother, and that choice brought consequences. That's just the way life works. But what happened? You stepped in and took those consequences on as if they were your own. You jumped in the middle, trying to fix it, trying to soften the blow, trying to clean up a mess from a choice you didn't even make. Of course, we help the people we love. But there is a massive difference between standing beside someone and fighting a battle that isn't yours. When you spend your life trying to manage the fallout of other people's decisions, you will end up frustrated. Because no matter how hard you work, that consequence belongs to the person who made the choice, not to you. Backpack 2. The pain of healing wounds you didn't cause. This one is incredibly common in relationships. You are with someone who carries trauma, old wounds, and pain from a past that has nothing to do with you. And at some point, you stepped into the role of the healer, the savior, as if it were your personal mission to fix that person. My darling, you can love someone with wounds. You can walk beside them. You can be a steady presence. But healing is a process that belongs solely to the person carrying the pain. When you take on the role of, I'm going to save this person, you wear yourself out trying to cure something you didn't break. You end up exhausted because someone else's healing isn't in your hands, no matter how much you wish it were. Backpack 3. Everyone else's problems. Your father's, your mother's, your kids, your mother-in-law's, your best friends, your co-workers. You are that person who attracts everyone else's drama. And it's not by accident. You've taught the people around you that you will handle it, that you can take it, that you are always available. And do you know what happens? You get so busy managing everyone else's life that there is no space left to look at your own. Sometimes, without even realizing it, you throw yourself into other people's problems just so you don't have to face your own. Because it's easier to fix someone else than it is to stop and look inside. But there comes a moment when the exhaustion demands a payment. Maybe you've said or thought this: I do everything for everyone. I just wish someone would do something for me. I just want someone to hold me. I just want to rest. That thought isn't a sign of weakness. It's your body warning you that you are carrying weight that doesn't belong to you. Backpack 4. Relationships that drain you in the name of love. This one might be the quietest of all. You are in a relationship with a partner, a family member, or a friend that drains you, that sucks the life out of you, that makes you feel small. But you stay. You endure. You tell yourself, that's just how it is. There's nothing I can do. It'll get better. So you keep putting up with it. You keep swallowing your feelings. You keep adapting and twisting yourself around a situation that hurts you because at some point you started believing that toughing it out is the same thing as love. It isn't. Staying silent and suffering isn't love. It's survival. And you deserve more than just surviving inside your own relationships. Now, I need to tell you something incredibly important. And this might be the hardest part of this video to hear. You weren't born this way. No one is born scanning other people's moods, carrying problems that aren't theirs, or trying to heal wounds they didn't cause. This was taught to you, and it was likely taught very, very early. At some point in your story, maybe when you were a little girl, maybe as a teenager, you learned something that became hardwired into your nervous system. You learned that to love is to carry. You learned that being good means being a fixer. That being sensitive means being a sponge. That being a woman means just taking it. And you learned that lesson so well, and you were praised for it so often, that it became your entire identity. You were the little girl who could feel the tension in the house. You were the teenager who played peacemaker between your parents. You became the woman who held everything together without a single complaint. You were rewarded for erasing yourself. And now, decades later, you don't know any other way to exist. But I have to ask you a question, my darling, and I want you to answer it with total honesty. If you spend your life carrying everyone else's weight, who is carrying yours? Think about that. When you are exhausted, who notices? When you are sad, who scans your face when you walk through the door? When you aren't doing well, who adjusts their behavior to take care of you? The answer, for most of the women watching me, is no one, because you've taught everyone around you that you don't need it, that you've got it, that you're always fine. And here is the shift that changes everything. There is a massive difference between helping someone and erasing yourself. Helping is standing beside them. Erasing yourself is disappearing. Helping is an act of love. Erasing yourself is an act of abandonment. Abandoning yourself. You are not selfish for stopping yourself from carrying what isn't yours. You are not cold-hearted for handing back what belongs to others. You aren't abandoning anyone. You are finally stopping the cycle of abandoning yourself. And yes, you will feel guilty. You will. Because your body was programmed to feel guilt every time you put yourself first. But that guilt doesn't belong to you either. It's just an old reflex of a lesson that should have never been yours to learn. Now that you know this, I want to show you how, in practice, you can begin to return what doesn't belong to you. I want to teach you an exercise that completely changed how I relate to the people I love. I call it the symbolic return. It's not therapy, and it isn't some complicated technique. It's something simple you can start doing today, right now, if you want. There are 3 steps, and I want you to choose just one to start with. Don't try to do all 3 at once. One is more than enough to change everything. Step 1, stop and ask, is this mine? Every time you feel that weight settle in, the guilt, the anxiety, the urgency to fix it, the need to make it better, stop. Before you act, before you speak, before you offer to help, ask yourself one single question. Is this mine? It sounds almost too simple to work. But the truth is, for your entire life, you've never asked yourself that question. You felt it and you carried it. You felt it and you reacted. You felt it and you absorbed it. No filter, no pause. Asking, is this mine, creates a space that has never existed between the feeling and your reaction. And that space changes everything. Step 2, name who it belongs to. If the answer is, no, this isn't mine, give it a name. Say it to yourself, even if it's just in your head. This sadness belongs to my mother. This frustration belongs to my husband. This problem is my son's. This was her choice, not mine. To name it is to separate it. As long as the feeling is floating around inside you without a name or an owner, it gets mixed up with your own feelings. You lose track of where you end and where the other person begins. But the moment you name it, this is his. It's not mine. You draw a line. an invisible boundary that protects you without pushing anyone away. Step 3. Return it mentally. This is the step that gives the exercise its name. After identifying that the weight isn't yours and naming who it belongs to, give it back. Not out loud, not in a fight, not in a difficult conversation. Do it mentally. Say to yourself, I can love you without carrying this for you. This phrase is powerful because it doesn't distance you from anyone. It's not about abandoning them. It's not about stopping yourself from caring. It's about recognizing that you can be present, you can love, and you can care without destroying yourself in the process. Returning it isn't rejecting the person. It's letting go of a weight that was never yours to begin with. And I want to be honest with you, my darling. At first, this is going to feel strange. The guilt will show up. That voice inside your head will tell you that you're being cold, selfish, or heartless. That voice is old. It comes from that lesson we talked about. The one that told you that to love was to carry. But now you know better. So, when the guilt comes, you already know what to do. Step 1. Is this mine? I want to leave you with just one thing, my darling. You don't have to stop loving people. You don't have to stop helping. You don't have to distance yourself from anyone. You just have to stop forgetting yourself in the middle of it all. Because before you try to carry the weight of the world, you need to look at your own life, your own heartaches, your own dreams. You need to look at that woman inside of you who has stayed so quiet for so long that you almost forgot she even existed. She exists. She's exhausted. And she's been asking you for a very long time to set down what doesn't belong to her. So, tell me in the comments, which of those 4 backpacks have you been carrying the longest? I really want to know. I read every single comment. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, okay? Let me know in the comments which part resonated with you the most. I'll see you in the next video. Sending you a big hug, my darling. Take care of her. She's waited long enough. I'll see you next week, my darling.